Hello guys! In this video, you'll learn about Overview, MS Access Database. Introduction. This diagram illustrates the overall architecture and data flow for integrating a Microsoft Access database with Salesforce using the SKYVVA agent bridge. The SKYVVA agent acts as the middleware that securely transfers data between the Microsoft Access database and Salesforce. It reads business data from the source database, processes it according to the configured integration, and sends it to Salesforce for creating or updating records. Step 1. MS Access Database Server Source. The process begins with the Microsoft Access Database Server, which serves as the source system for the integration. Microsoft Access is a file-based relational database that stores structured business data such as customers, products, orders, invoices, and other operational information. It provides a simple and reliable way to manage business data for desktop and small-scale business applications. At this stage, all business data remains in the Microsoft Access database until it is requested by the SKYVVA agent. The database acts solely as the source of information for the integration process. Step 2. Read and retrieve data. The first arrow in the diagram, labeled Read/Retrieve Data, represents the SKYVVA agent securely connecting to the Microsoft Access database and reading the required records. Depending on the integration configuration, data can be retrieved either manually or through a scheduled execution. During this step, the SKYVVA agent only reads the required data from the database. The source data remains unchanged while the selected records are prepared for further processing. Step 3. SKYVVA Agent Bridge. After retrieving the data, the SKYVVA agent acts as the bridge between Microsoft Access and Salesforce. This is where the main integration processing takes place. The SKYVVA agent performs several important tasks, establishes a secure connection between Microsoft Access and Salesforce, reads business data from the Microsoft Access database, maps Microsoft Access fields to the corresponding Salesforce objects and fields, transforms the data into the format expected by Salesforce, validates the data before it is sent, monitors the integration process, records execution logs, and handles any errors to ensure reliable and secure data processing. The SKYVVA agent ensures that the data transferred to Salesforce is accurate and ready for processing. Step 4. Create or update data in Salesforce. The second arrow in the diagram, labeled Create/Update Data, represents the SKYVVA agent sending the processed data to Salesforce through the Salesforce API. The communication between the SKYVVA agent and Salesforce is secure and uses the configured authentication method. Based on the integration configuration, the SKYVVA agent sends requests to either create new Salesforce records or update existing ones. If any communication or validation errors occur, the SKYVVA agent records detailed logs and reports the issue so it can be reviewed and resolved. Step 5. Salesforce Target. Salesforce acts as the target system for the integration. After receiving the data through the Salesforce API, Salesforce processes each request according to the configured integration logic. Depending on the data received, Salesforce creates new records or updates existing ones. The integration can work with standard Salesforce objects such as accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities, products. It can also work with custom Salesforce objects when configured. Once the records are successfully saved, they become immediately available for Salesforce users, reports, dashboards, automation, and other business processes. Step 6. Overall Process Summary. The bottom section of the diagram summarizes the complete integration architecture. Source. Microsoft Access serves as the source system where business data is stored. Bridge. The SKYVVA agent securely reads the data, performs mapping and transformation, validates the information, and delivers it to Salesforce. Target. Salesforce receives the processed data through its API and creates or updates business records. The key benefit of this architecture is that it provides a simple, secure, and reliable way to synchronize business data from Microsoft Access to Salesforce. By automating the integration process, organizations can reduce manual data entry, improve data accuracy, and ensure that Salesforce always contains up-to-date business information. This diagram illustrates the two primary integration scenarios supported by the SKYVVA MS Access adapter. The SKYVVA agent acts as the middleware that enables secure bidirectional data synchronization between Microsoft Access and Salesforce. Depending on the business requirement, data can either be transferred from Microsoft Access to Salesforce or from Salesforce back to Microsoft Access. Scenario 1. Inbound processing, database, Salesforce. In this scenario, Microsoft Access acts as the source system, while Salesforce is the target system. The integration begins when the SKYVVA agent securely connects to the Microsoft Access database and reads the configured business data, such as customers, products, orders, or other records required for the integration. The agent extracts only the necessary data without modifying the source database. After retrieving the data, the SKYVVA agent performs the configured mapping and transformation, converting Microsoft Access fields into the corresponding Salesforce objects and fields. During this process, the agent applies any configured business rules, validates the data, and ensures that it matches the format expected by Salesforce. Once the data has been successfully processed, the SKYVVA agent sends it securely to Salesforce through the Salesforce API. Based on the integration configuration, Salesforce creates new records or updates existing ones. This process enables reliable synchronization of business data from Microsoft Access to Salesforce and is commonly used for data migration, scheduled synchronization, and initial data loading. Scenario 2. Outbound processing, Salesforce database. In this scenario, Salesforce acts as the source system, while Microsoft Access serves as the target system. The integration begins when the SKYVVA agent securely connects to Salesforce and queries the configured business data using the Salesforce API. Based on the integration configuration, the agent extracts the required records, such as accounts, contacts, products, opportunities, or custom objects, without affecting the data stored in Salesforce. After retrieving the data, the SKYVVA agent performs the configured mapping and transformation, converting Salesforce fields into the corresponding Microsoft Access database fields. During this process, the agent applies any configured business rules, validates the data, and prepares it for writing to the Microsoft Access database. Once the data has been successfully processed, the SKYVVA agent writes it securely to the Microsoft Access database. Depending on the integration configuration, the agent can insert new records, update existing records, or perform an upsert operation where applicable. This process enables reliable synchronization of business data from Salesforce to Microsoft Access and is commonly used for local reporting, data backup, offline access, and maintaining synchronized business data in Microsoft Access. To summarize the complete process, the SKYVVA MS Access adapter supports two integration directions. In inbound processing, business data is read from Microsoft Access, transformed and mapped by the SKYVVA agent, and then sent to Salesforce to create or update records. In outbound processing, the SKYVVA agent retrieves data from Salesforce, transforms and maps it according to the configured integration, and writes the data back to Microsoft Access. This diagram illustrates how the SKYVVA agent provides secure, bidirectional integration between Microsoft Access and Salesforce. The SKYVVA agent acts as the middleware that orchestrates the entire data flow, ensuring that data is extracted, transformed, validated, and synchronized between both systems. Step 1. Microsoft Access Database. The integration begins with the Microsoft Access Database, which acts as the source system for inbound processing and the target system for outbound processing. Microsoft Access stores business data in a file-based relational database and organizes information into tables, queries, forms, and reports. For inbound integration, the SKYVVA agent reads the required business data from Microsoft Access. The database continues to store the original records while making them available for integration. For outbound integration, Microsoft Access receives processed data from Salesforce, allowing the database to remain synchronized with the latest business information. Step 2. SKYVVA agent. The SKYVVA agent securely connects to Microsoft Access and reads the configured business data. It then transforms and maps the data according to the configured integration and sends it to Salesforce through the Salesforce API to create or update records. For outbound integration, the SKYVVA agent retrieves data from Salesforce, transforms and maps it to the Microsoft Access database structure, and writes the processed records back to Microsoft Access. Throughout both processes, the SKYVVA agent monitors the integration, records execution logs, and handles errors to ensure reliable data synchronization. Step 3. Salesforce. Salesforce receives the processed data from the SKYVVA agent through its APIs. Based on the integration configuration, Salesforce creates new records or updates existing ones. For outbound processing, Salesforce also acts as the source system, allowing the SKYVVA agent to retrieve data and synchronize it back to Microsoft Access. Step 4. Complete data synchronization. The SKYVVA agent provides secure bidirectional synchronization between Microsoft Access and Salesforce. It automates data movement in both directions, ensuring that business data remains accurate, consistent, and synchronized across both systems. What you get? With the SKYVVA agent, you get bidirectional data synchronization, flexible scheduled integration, data transformation and mapping, secure and reliable processing and monitoring with error handling. This helps reduce manual data entry and keeps Microsoft Access and Salesforce synchronized efficiently. Now, we will show and explain how to set up the adapter and configure the interface. In this video, we will focus on the Microsoft Access database. When we use the database adapter with Microsoft Access, we can process data based on different business requirements, such as inbound processing and outbound processing. In this video, we will show only the adapter setup and interface configuration. We will not demonstrate the actual processing or explain each scenario in detail. For a detailed explanation of the different processing scenarios, please visit our YouTube channel, where we have separate videos covering these topics. Here, you can see that we already have an existing inbound database adapter configured for the Microsoft Access database. The database adapter supports many types of databases, such as Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, PostgreSQL, and Microsoft Access. In this video, we'll focus on Microsoft Access. Depending on your business requirements, the database adapter can be used for different processing scenarios, such as inbound processing, where data is read from the Microsoft Access database and sent to Salesforce, or outbound processing, where data is received from Salesforce and written to the Microsoft Access database. Now, let's move on to the interface configuration. Here, you can see an existing inbound interface. This interface is linked to the inbound database adapter and is configured to use Microsoft Access with the inbound database message type. For the operation type, we support several options, such as insert, update, delete, query, and more. You can select the appropriate operation type depending on your processing requirements and the type of data operation you want to perform. This is an inbound interface, which means that data is read from the Microsoft Access database into the integration process and then sent to Salesforce. If the interface is outbound, the data flow works in the opposite direction. Data is retrieved from Salesforce, processed through the integration, and then written to the Microsoft Access database. The processing scenarios are explained in more detail in our separate videos on the SKYVVA YouTube channel. In this video, we are focusing only on an overview of Microsoft Access integration. In this video, we provided an overview of Microsoft Access integration with SKYVVA. By integrating Microsoft Access with SKYVVA, organizations can easily connect their Microsoft Access databases with Salesforce and exchange data between the two systems. This helps reduce manual data entry, improve data synchronization, and support a wide range of business integration requirements. The database adapter also provides flexibility by supporting multiple database types and various operation types, such as insert, update, delete, and query. This allows organizations to configure their integrations based on their specific business requirements.
Summary.
In this video, we provided an overview of integrating Microsoft Access database with Salesforce using the SKYVVA agent. We explained the overall integration architecture, the end-to-end data flow, and the core processing scenarios, including inbound and outbound integration. We also demonstrated the database adapter and interface configuration, highlighting the supported operation types and how organizations can configure integrations based on their business requirements. By integrating Microsoft Access with SKYVVA, organizations can automate data exchange, reduce manual effort, improve data accuracy, and maintain reliable synchronization between Microsoft Access and Salesforce. Thanks for visiting our YouTube channel. See you in the next video.